Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Alderbrass, designed to endure, styled to welcome. We're so happy to have you today as we are beginning our journey into home design from inside of the homes all the way to outside and beyond. Today, we're going to be focusing on the garden, and we are on a lovely Saturday morning with the warm weather of May in Virginia, which is zone 7B. So it's starting to get a little warm, but it's a perfect opportunity to get out there and start making your plan for what you want to have in your garden all summer long. Today, we're going to be looking at some plants that we have added into our garden, some that are going to be new, some that we've had now for about 3 years. We're going to see what's working and what's not working, and together we're going to learn along the way. So sometimes we're going to have some really high highs, and sometimes we're going to have some really low lows, but that's okay because we're learning together so we can thrive together. So stay with us, come along this journey, and let's have some fun. I'm Tara.
I'm Lamar.
And this is Alderbrass. Let's get started.
Here's our other team member. Her name is Sophie. She's awesome. She's our fur baby. She's our cheerleader. She's our baby. She's our everything. So we're just happy that she's along for this journey as well. She's going to be pointing us in the right direction.
Patriots.
And I'm just grateful for her.
So that's a patriot.
Thank God for her, our little Sophie. Look at that face. Look at that face.
That's patriot. This is one of our most recent additions. And by recent, about last year, late summer, we added these hostas in just to kind of extend. As you can see, this is a pathway that we've kind of cleared out. Over time, in the next couple of weeks, we're going to refresh everything around here. Right now, you have a lot of leaf litter from the winter and the spring. So once all of the leaves really shut down, we still have a few oaks and a few birch leaves that are hanging on.
Yeah.
Once we have that leaf drop, we'll really clean this up. But just to get you started with hostas, this does get a decent amount of shade. So the hostas are thriving. However, we've been battling critters in this area. So as you can see, we have these beautiful light green hostas right here. These are coast to coast hostas, and we're trying them here. When they do have a lighter leaf, sometimes you do need to make sure that they're getting enough shade. And depending on the season, depending on the time, it could get a little bit sun intense here. So we're going to watch these and see how they like it. They might have to move. We also have some beautiful, beautiful earth angels here. And these are the wonderful variegated. We have some patriots that are growing. That's kind of a common, more of a waxy leaf hosta. But all in all, some Queen Josephinas are coming in here. Actually, these are Queen Josephinas, the variegated ones. These are our earth angels. So we're going to go ahead and take up this wire right here. Again, lots of critters that we've been trying to protect them from, give them a chance to grow. The bunnies do love the hostas. But follow me as we walk around. We have this beautiful tree that we're probably going to have to...
We didn't talk about the little rehabilitation center that we got here, over here in the background, but...
We do have a rehabilitation center. We'll probably introduce you to this section a little bit later, but yeah, there's a lot going on.
All right.
This is our darling fig tree. She does produce a lot of good fruit. That oftentimes I'm so happy that she's producing fruit that I just pick the fruit and I stare at it like a little trophy. But she's just thriving and getting bigger. And then welcome into our shade garden. So this really continues the Hosta theme. As you can see, in addition to the wired fence, we also added some fishing wire. I don't know if the camera can catch on.
Yeah, you may not be able to. Yeah, we can see it a little
Can you
bit.
see it?
Yeah.
And the reason why we had this up here is truly for the deer. So this is not going to help you for rabbits and moles and voles, but when the deer are enjoying the garden, especially in the middle of the night, when they butt up against this fishing wire, as soon as they feel that tension, it should tell them they cannot go any further. And oftentimes they don't try to. So they will keep moseying right along, and hopefully they'll take a beeline out to the street and leave our beautiful plants alone. So this was the first time we tried it, and it was a success. And so this is something we'll continue to do. But for now, Lamar and I are really going to be in and out of this garden way too much to have the fishing wire. And so we're going to go ahead and cut that now. It's like a ribbon cutting ceremony.
Right, exactly. This fishing wire has been tremendous for us. The deer have come into this area too many times to name, but they've come in and ravaged a lot of our little
Our hostas.
hostas.
You'll see the damage they've done to some of our oak leaf hydrangeas.
Yeah.
And even our beautiful baby weeping cedars. We'll show you a little bit closer. We'll get to the weeping cedar and show you the damage that they did. And we'll be talking about that. You know, there are times when nature versus nurture, nature tends to win. We have to learn how to live with our furry friends, including the deer, even though sometimes they're pesky. But what can we do? And some of our plants, you know, sometimes they're ravaged to a point where we can't save them. Oftentimes we try to, and that's what our rehabilitation center is for. But yeah, so let's kind of get into it. I have to just tell you the quick story. So an elementary school that I used to work at in Virginia, here in Virginia, they were the beautiful recipients of a brand new building. And so when the old building was being torn down, they had so much foliage, beautiful plants, beautiful trees, and it became like a free-for-all. It was save the plants, and we did. So Lamar and I really went in. I mean, we tried to get the daylilies. If I could have taken the crepe myrtles with us, we would have.
Yeah, that would have been awesome.
They were gorgeous. But one thing that we had a lot of success with was transplanting hostas. So unfortunately, when we transplanted them, I don't necessarily know all of the names of the different types of hostas that we have, but many of these were taken from the old elementary school. And so the beautiful thing about that is you can see that it works. For hostas, you do not have to be gentle with them. You don't have to be afraid to dig them up and move them. And you're going to see some of that today. Hostas need the right environment in order to thrive. And our hostas, as you can see, are thriving.
Yeah, the ones that we're really going to focus on moving this morning is definitely going to be this one here, and this one here, closest to the edge of the grass. So we're definitely going to move those.
Mm-hmm. And right now, the reason why we're moving them, so this is another Queen Josephina. And as you can see right here, it had a little bit of damage. I think that was probably either from me or Sophie stepping on them. When they were first coming up, we had a lot of mulch that was kind of covering them.
Yeah.
But the proximity to the grass line, to the edge, is too close. Queen Josephinas will get larger. They're not as large as Empress Wu's, but they get large enough to where they go out and they will cross over into the grass, which is a bit of a pain when Lamar is mowing the lawn.
Yeah.
And so we don't want to accidentally shred the leaves with the mower. So we're going to move that back to a more appropriate location. And the same one with this one. And this is a beautiful, I will get the name because this is an amazing variety of hosta. Again, a variegated leaf. You see that white creamy color outline and that dark green. Wonderful addition to your garden. So we're going to move her as well. And then also, if you come back here, we have a massive Diamond Lake hosta. When I tell you, when we first got this hosta, it was about the size of the Queen Josephina that's up in the front.
Yeah.
This is now, we transplanted these first to pots. They lived in pots for about 3 years throughout the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we moved here, we placed them in the ground. And again, just thriving,
Just
massive.
huge. Yeah.
So we transplanted this earlier in the spring this year.
Yeah, we moved that one.
And what we did not realize is we had another very large hosta that was popping up that we thought would be smaller, like the one in the front. So this is too close.
Yeah.
It's not terrible. It wouldn't stunt their growth, but we do want to space them out a little bit more because our goal is to have this be a hosta wonderland. So we're going to space it out so we can encourage more growth and see how big they can really get. So we'll be moving this one today as well. We also have several oak leaf hydrangeas. These are your ruby slipper hydrangeas, and so they are oak leaf. They do like shade. They can stand some dappled sunlight, but not too much. They do bloom on old wood, so we do not prune these. This one, as you can see, is actually older than this oak leaf. So this oak leaf now is about 2 years, and this oak leaf will be 1 year old by late summer.
Yeah, that one got damaged by the deer.
Yep. So this is what they can do. I mean, the deer just basically took it down to the nub, to the root. And so it's growing back, but it's going to take some time. But it's okay. It's going to happen. We're giving it enough love and it will be thriving and hopefully it will catch up to this one. Now, this is also one of our weeping cedars that the deer, they didn't eat the weeping cedar, but we probably had some young bucks that wanted to get that fur off their antlers. Probably had a little itch that they were trying to scratch, and with that did a lot of damage to our weeping cedar. So it's still growing, but these are slow growers. And so I'm not quite sure if it's going to stay here or it might move to the rehabilitation center. This baby here, again, another oak leaf. This one was purchased and planted the same time as our other large one. So what's happening? We're not quite sure, but we are seeing some dieback and very limited foliage. It's definitely living, but we need to see if we can help this baby get to a better location. What Lamar realized, he was able to catch the sun early morning one day, and the sun was it morning or was it afternoon?
It was a little bit in the afternoon.
Afternoon.
Yeah.
So afternoon sun, we know, is already a little bit more intense in our zone, 7B. And so it was shining directly on this oak leaf. So we're wondering if that, even though it's afternoon sun, is that too much for this baby to handle? So we're going to go ahead. We're not going to risk it. We're just going to dig it up and we're going to find a better location for it. So we'll be doing that today. We might, if not today, for our river birch, we're definitely going to come in here now that it is sprouting. It's a good time to kind of come in and see what branches have died back. And so we might do a little bit of just cleaning for this one. Again, only taking out the branches that are dead. And that will create an opportunity for more circulation. We know that our river birches, They're here because this gets really muddy, a lot of waterlog in this area. Probably not the most ideal sun amount of sun, so it will be light and delicate with the leaves, but it's going to thrive. We know it.
Yeah, for sure.
This is a volunteer oak that, unfortunately, while it's thriving, we don't want an oak tree right here. So we'll be cutting this out to make a little bit more room. A few more oak leaves. Again, this is one that was damaged by deer, so it has some catching up to do. Well, all in all, you can kind of see the theme in this area. We're not doing too many different types of plants. We're doing the same plant, but different varieties. And our anchors are really going to be the river birch, the oak leaf, and then the showstoppers are going to be the hostas. And if you can imagine, the flowers will start sprouting up. They will tower over the foliage. It'll be a beautiful summer scape. We do have color through the variations of green, but we also have a pop of red thanks to our beautiful Japanese maple. This Japanese maple is about only 1 year old. And so there is a little bit of crossing with the branches. We'll come in here and clear that out. If you notice too, Lamar might get close enough so you can really see it. We had some late frost this year. And so some of our leaves have some frost damage. By all means, nothing that's really major. We could choose to leave it and that would be fine. But we might come in and kind of pluck off some of the leaves that are really unsightly. Again, this is truly not even a maintenance task. This is just what your preference is. So we're going to try to give this the most beautiful first impression as possible. So we'll go in and see if we can remove some of the leaves that are too damaged.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's another section of our fence. So again, we're going to snip it off. And with that.
You got one more down there?
Oh, one more. Ooh. See, this is also like a booby trap for trespassers. Okay, let's get started. We've been working in the garden all morning long, clearing out some of the brush. As you'll see when we go back there, we still have like a few little sprouts that we'll have to get. But for right now, I want to introduce you to one of our newest additions to the garden, and that is the Empress Wu Hosta. Just take a look. I'll let you have a minute to just take it all in. As you can see, this is going to be a big boy.
Yeah, it's going to be huge.
It's going to be huge. And so this is Proven Winners, Shadowland Empress Wu. Very typical hosta as far as it prefers shade, not partial shade, but this one really wants to be kind of hidden and protected from the sun. And when it is in the perfect conditions, it is going to get massive. I'm talking about a 4-foot spread and possibly, if we're lucky, even 4 feet high. Okay, so Lamar went ahead and prepped a hole. And so I'm just gonna clean out a little bit of the brush here.
And so again, as Tara was talking, these plants prefer shade, and putting these in the woods is really perfect. It's just natural shade. It's going to bring some natural interest into the area as folks are, on your deck, on your patio. It'll give you something to look at and to look out upon as you're dining and having a great time with friends and family. So just a great way to extend your garden.
And interesting enough, a lot of times people will associate hostas with more formal gardens. They used to have a kind of a bad stigma of being your grandma's plant, but it really does work well in a more natural environment. So it doesn't always have to be formal when you're considering these plants. You can let them grow. They want to be wild. So why not let them sometimes?
Yeah, 100%.
So I have basically an all-purpose soil. Mar, if you want to get into that, you can kind of see there is a lot of organic matter in there, a lot of mulch, pine bark probably. And I don't know if you can see, there are some fertilizer little balls, and that's a slowly release fertilizer. We are still going to put some biotone in it because we really want those roots to kind of get established, and we want it to adapt well. And so the biotone will help us help the plant be happy.
Yep, let's get it started.
Okay. Now, while this might look root bound, it's really not. It's just hostas have a very extensive root system. And so I'm not too concerned about that being root bound or anything. I am going to rough it up a bit on the bottom and around just to make sure those roots are going to want to start reaching out into its new environment.
And it's really going to look beautiful when it's in. The great thing about these is they're huge, and you'll be able to see it regardless of where you are in the yard. So it's going to be really nice. We'll have an opportunity to look at this a little bit later. Just look at the whole thing all together. We'll be able to show you how it really turned out. So we're excited about that.
And really at this point, there's no true front. I'm trying to look at the way the spikes are growing, the flower spikes are, and this one's kind of leaning more towards the front. So I might make sure it's facing that way. I think that's a good height. I might raise it up just a little bit. Yep, I think that's good. I'm not going to do too much biotone, just a handful. because again, there is some slow release fertilizer in this dirt already. But biotone is organic, so they love it. All right, I'll add some more dirt. We do want to be generous. Again, this area where we're planting, there are some dips and slopes, which is why we have our river birch here, because it can get a lot of water. So we just want to make sure we're adding enough dirt. So even if there's a little bit of runoff, our new friend should be perfectly fine. As we come through here, if you remember, we had some hostas that were really thriving, that's exactly what we want them to do, but they were kind of close to the grass line. And so we had a few varieties that were right here. So we went ahead and we pulled those up. Again, hostas can do it. It's not too hot yet, even though it's May. We're just about hitting 80 degrees consistently. Again, we're in Virginia, zone 7B. So it's still not too late to do some transplanting, but time is of the essence. So we pulled up 2 of those and we moved them around. So again, when you're moving plants, you really kind of want to consider, even though this is a shade garden, we are getting, as you can see right now, perfect timing. We do get dappled sun. And so in some of the areas, it can get hot. Depending on the type of hosta that you have, the lighter leaves will even wilt, even and get sun damage, even with dappled light. So you have to be careful, and you can't be afraid to make changes in your garden. So some of our really big, we have our limelight here. And I will be very honest, I'm still trying to figure out what variety of hosta this one is in the back. But we went ahead and we put it where we think it's going to have a lot of time and room to grow and thrive. And so right back here is where she will live now. And interesting enough, when we first transplanted, we had to leave, so we weren't able to really give her a lot of water. She immediately started drooping, and that might make you a little scared. But with the proper watering, and we had a nice rainstorm last night, she is already perked back up. We have some pollinator flies that are kind of hanging around and a few mosquitoes because it is wet back here, but everything is good. She's thriving. We also moved our Diamond Lake hosta. So this wasn't really a massive move. We kind of shifted her over, but again, she's up against some established trees. We're not planning on doing a lot of planting right here in this section. So she will have a lot of room to thrive. Quick check-in as well. We went ahead and started planting some of our new additions to the garden, which is our Shadowland Empress Wu Hosta from Proven Winners. And so here is the first one. We have about 3 more that we need to plant, and we're going to have to figure out where, again, they can have enough space to grow and thrive. They need shade, full shade. And so we tucked the first one in kind of close to the edge. We'll probably cut back some of this brush right here because this baby girl is going to be big. 4 feet wide, 4 feet tall, really great impact. But we don't want to have anything stunting her growth and her spread. So that is, again, the Shadowland Empress Wu. I can't wait. It's going to be exciting. We're also going to be talking to you a little bit about soil amendment. So we tried some soil that we really love, but we're just not sure if the flowers are enjoying the soil. So we want them to be in the best condition possible. Sometimes you have to play with that. In Virginia, there's a lot of clay, so we do dig up a lot of clay, and then we try to work in a lot of great nutrients, compost, leaf conditioner, any kind of organic matter that's going to help these thrive. But sometimes it's, trial and error, so we'll see how they do. If not, we'll move them. But I think that wraps it up for today. So we have a lot more to do. It's not even summer yet. We're still in spring. So we welcome you back. We'll see you in a few, and we'll continue to grow together.